Hi guys, today we're going to talk about two stock, Costco Wholesale Corporation and one is Domino's Pizza. So how things going to look like in coming weeks, like this, what will the stock price? And currently the stock is at $943. Like in 5 days, there's a return around 1%, where YTD return is 3.67%. It started with $909 and is about to be $943. So how things gonna look like now? So the first stock is this we're going to talk about. And the next stock is Domino's Pizza. Like it's last session it was up by 2%. Where five days it was up by 7%. Like 427 is the last trading price, and YTD that it is not giving a return. When 1 year the return is still there's no much returns. So how things going to look like? What are the what can we can see about this stock? So first we're going to see like Costco Wholesale. Like it is $418 billion, like founded in 1983. The market cap is there, and the price to earning is 54, where the EPS is 17, and we see the annual. So annual is a revenue is 554 billion, where the net margin is 2.90, where here the margin is 2.60, the net margin. So company is constantly having a net margin of 2.6, 2.57, so probably is very good. Where if you see the net margin ratio is also, it started with 2.40 and it has been increasing. And whereas the net income started with 4 billion, then next year is 5, then 5.8, 6.29, and the last 2024 is like $7.37 billion net profit. So with the huge with 2020 there was a $166 billion was the revenue, where the revenue has been increased to 500 $254, where it is currently operating in United States, internationally, and Canada, where Canada is contributing 13%, where the other country is contributing 13.93, where the United States is contributing 72% around with Costco. So how it's going to thing look like? So again, we'll see the more about the revenue quarterly. Also, there is increase in 7%, but increase in quarterly report, where the pre-tax is 2.3 billion, where if you check the annual, so if you see annually, like it started with in 2018, 141 billion. So every year there is a growth in the revenue, like to around 7, 9, 17, 15, 6, and 5. So every year there is a revenue is increasing in last 5 years. If you see there, it will 152 to 254. So it's very good. The gross profit also increasing, and where the pre-tax 4 billion now has been about to be $10 billion, like 14% is increase in the pre-tax, and the net profit, if you see the net profit before discounting, like $7.37 billion is the net profit, where the EPS basic is it was 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 14, and 16, and now it's going to be 17. So EPS is also increasing, and these are the things like it is very important. Like there's increase in the EPS and all. Where if you see here, little bit there's increase in the outstanding of average basic share outstanding in the market, where things look pretty good in all the matters of this stock. Where if you see in the 2000, the P ratio was 32, and now is the P is 53, just because the stock price is increasing, and that is and if you see the valuation part, the valuation started with enterprise value to operating income. It was 17, 20, 18, 21, 23, 22, and it's quietly is high, it's 35. So valuation parts is quite high, and where the return equity is 29, return on investment capital, gross margin 12.3, and net margin 2.8. If you see, there's a growth in the net margin also. So look, everything look positive, and now, if you see the breakup of the revenue, the food from the food business is 100 billion, and then 63 billion non-food. Warehouse other business 49, and the fresh food is like $34 billion. This is the breakup of the revenue. And by country, if you see, US is contributing 184 billion, with international 35 and 34 is like for the other country. So now if you see the technically I'm showing you this is the P ratio of, so you start in 1 year the P was started with it's 47, now like it's 54 goes to 57. So P is quite high in 1 year, but in the 5 years also if you see it is quite high in the P, because company is making money, so the investors are like giving more P ratios out of that. Where the RSI is going up, earlier there was a bottom in the RSI and the price was like $9 and $10, now going up. So from here, we can able to understand that the RSI is going up, already intersected here, and with a stock price of around $943. So what I'm expecting from the stock with this, with the RSI and all. So technically, I'm expecting a stock movement of 4.61% with the stock price around $976. So this is what I'm expecting, around 4% return in coming session from the stock. And the second stock we are going to see is the Domino's pizza. So now we will see the Domino's pizza. So it is $14.76 billion found in 1960, and it's more over in all the countries. The pizza with the ownership of Freepo shares 34, where the P ratio is 25 and the EPS is 16. So we'll see like how things going to look like. The valuation part, like you see the valuation was annually the P ratio was 30, then it was 41. There was a correction in the P22, and then last it was 28. Okay, so now the statement, we can see the statement where the last quarter there was a growth in 5%, there was a growth, and with the revenue of 1 billion and the pre-tax is $184 million. Where if you see the annually, like it's if you see the TTM, it's 4.67. So there's an increase. Last year, if you see 2023, there was a slight decrease, 1.5%. And now there's an increment, and the pre-tax is increased. The pre-tax and the net income is 519 million dollars, with 14% is a growth in 2023, and 24 is 572. Again, there is a growth. So it's indicating that the from 5 PS now it is 16 EPS, earning per share has been increased with 17 18 percent every year. There's an increase in the EPS. And annually, if you see, started like earning, as I said, 28 is the earning per share, and the valuation part, like enterprise operating income started 21, 22, 23. And this was the all-time high at this 20, 22. And little bit now it been the correction mode, like whatever the P currently operating income with enterprise operating income, and 21 and this 22, like it was in 2020, and it was same at currently, where the equity per share return on investment capital is 53 is good, is very good, and then the return on equity is also good. Operating margin, they have maintained the operating margin, that is good. Net margin also been increased. It start with the 19, 10, so everything is goes so well. And now we can see the revenue part, like where's the revenue coming from. So revenue coming from supply chain, then the US stores, $1.45 billion to supply chain 2.83, where their supply chain they are 2.90, where the US store international franchisee for $95 million. United States Canada contributing 471 million, and United States is like 3.90 billion, and internationally 310 million they come from the revenue part. Technically, if you see the stock price, if you see here, started with 28 P ratio, then its all-time high was 36. There was a correction here at this after September, goes up to 28. Again, there is a bottom, and then it's going up to 26. So in 5 years, also the P ratio is a little bit down, so that's good. And you know the ownership has been with even Warren Buffett had bought this stock. If you see this, currently, if you see the RSI of this, I'm going to share with you the RSI. What are we expecting the growth in the stock in coming some months? So if RSI, if you see the W pattern is making RSI already intersected here, P ratio is undervalued. So I'm expecting the first is like this green. If you see the green line is 100 days moving average. This is 50 days, and this is 200 days moving average. So suppose if stocks are going to be crossing 100 days, then you go to 50 days, is a 3% growth, and there is a growth of 7%. So expecting a growth of 7% with the stock price of $458. Currently stock at $427. I'm expecting a movement in this stock. So whatever I'm going to share with you, the 7% in this stock, and the last stock I will share with the Costco, the 4% growth. Well, you do your all research, okay, before you invest anything. I'm sure about my studies with you. I'm not telling you to buy and sell, but this is a study is what I'm expecting the growth in this stock. So that's for now. Thank you for watching my channel. Do subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.